So, okay, so when are you heading back home to Louisville next
Tuesday morning.
Tuesday?
Yeah.
So what's the plan until then?
Party.
How much are you training? Like probably every day, or
Every day. Yeah. He's got me working like twice a day in the morning and the evening, and
Wow,
he's kicking my ass, man.
wicked.
Yeah.
Okay,
Airport, no home, airport right to the fucking gym.
wicked.
It's cruel.
This wasn't a-
He's mean.
Okay, and then apart from the training, which is the highlight reel, obviously, what have you done? Vancouvery things? Have you taken? You haven't done nothing.
That was our day for us. to
Yeah.
do Vancouver.
So Brit's in charge then.
No, I'm in charge. Nobody fighter better than the gym.
Okay,
Give me some recommendations.
What's the plan so far? What are you guys doing tomorrow?
Well, first we're gonna train. We're gonna train twice.
As you do.
And then after, depending if he urgent or not, I'm gonna take him out for food, take him around the city for some nice spots, nice cocktails. Be in bed by 9 o'clock.
Perfect. Oh, such an adult day.
Yeah,
Very good.
it is.
Very good. Now, what's next for you in the world? Like, you obviously more fights and stuff, but I want to know, like, what do you see yourself doing in boxing?
In boxing, I just right now I just want to focus on what's in front of me, and that's just making history with Coach JY. I really believe that we're going to be here to pave the way for some of the future Korean fighters too, and I think we're doing something good here. Yeah.
And a world championship in the taste buds anywhere? Or?
Maybe on the back of my throat.
Okay, so not quite forefront
Yeah.
yet. Okay.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We're thinking about it for sure. I mean, who's not?
Have you gone and done any training in Korea?
I have actually. It hasn't been very fulfilling because it's just the culture. I'm Korean, but I'm still an American.
Right.
I lived more than half of my life in America, and Korean boxing style is very still. I think it's not quite there to. They got to make some big changes, and I believe in Korea to make some big changes if we want to catch up to China and Japan, because we're always, most of the time we're on the losing end, and I want the best for Korea, but I think some of the fundamental has to change a little bit, and some of the style, and maybe some of the older traditional things needs to go out the window, and some of the new stuff needs to come in. And there's some fighters, I follow a lot of Korean fighters, and there's a few out there that are trying the new stuff, and they look good. And I'm excited for them too.
I think boxing in general is also kind of in a bit of a shift, from kind of bringing in, paying homage to the classical elements of what makes boxing great, but then bringing in this kind of new school
Right.
mentality, new school skill, like new school coaches. You see a lot of out with the old and with the new kind of happening in boxing in general right now. Have you seen that throughout your young days, kind of as an early pro? Have you been part of that shift? Have you seen that shift happening around you?
Not particularly around me, because I think I am kind of like I think I did come into that new age kind of boxing
Right.
to begin with, but my coach was still very old school. It's just putting in sweat and hard work.
Yeah.
That was like the main priority first, and then everything else was kind of secondary. But I'm glad that that's how he started me off, because honestly, at the end of the day, it's just about how much you put in, right? And
It sounds like he taught you some really good values, things that
for sure.
are really important for a fighter
For
to have.
sure.
Because it is a difficult sport. It's the loneliest sport, as they say.
It
So you
is.
have to have that kind of mental toughness for sure. So I'm curious, was your family supportive out the gate? Like, mom just saw you and like some kid like beating each other up in the
Right,
backyard
it was
and
always
was
like, oh no, you go to your room and study,
Yeah.
you're not Bijan, you're Asian.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But
so mom was like, fuck no.
No, I'm just kidding. It was never like that. Yeah. My parents are like the most laid back Asian parents ever.
Wow,
They were
okay.
so laid back that up until now, like recently I told them like, hey, did you guys know that I failed like every class in high school and I barely passed high school? And they're like, oh, really?
Wow.
Cool.
Mom and dad.
Yeah. But it was also, my parents are just so busy, trying to support the family.
Right.
Because we have a family business back home in Louisville, Kentucky.
Cool.
We have an Asian grocery store.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's the best.
Do you work there as
number
well?
one. I do. Yeah. I help
number
out.
Wicked.
Korea number one.
So that's sort of like So good. So that's sort of like the lifestyle for you. Like you go, you train, you come, you help mom and dad out the family business.
Pretty much. You know, you guys have like Kim's Convenience
honestly,
here.
this is a movie.
It is. Somebody sign me up. I'm a good actor.
Yeah, you've been trying to fuck with me the whole time. We just met. He was like, they were, for the fans at home, they were going to pretend he didn't speak any English. And JY was going to come in here and translate. And then all of a sudden he'd be like, yeah, I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. To be honest, I actually wish it had gone down like that. I really do.
No, I got still something else for you.
Oh, yeah?
Don't worry.
Just tucked away in the back of your throat?
A little bit deeper.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus, I'm scared now.
Yeah, be on the lookout. I'm trying to get you
I'm scared. Okay, cool. So you guys were talking, when we were talking about the pre-show, you had made a decision between you and the coach to press pause on the next fight. What was the process around that, and why did you make that decision?
Yeah, so I was actually supposed to have a camp here, go back home, and I had a match in June 15th.
Okay.
And it was one of my old promoters, you know, his last show, and I really wanted to be there because two of my teammates are also going to be there.
Right.
One of them's going to debut. Shout out to my boys, Tyler Albrecht and Alex Stancato, man. I love you guys. And I really wanted to be part of that. And they were going to do they were going to honor my coach too also. But, you know, my last fight, you know, I had a little bit of a injury going on. It's feeling fine now, but I'm just not too confident about this next match. And I think moving on forward, I do want to start having matches in Canada if I can under Coach JY. So me just trusting in Coach JY's advice and just decided to go that route. So I'm just happy that way.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And as you know, as you've kind of navigated like the earlier stages of your pro career, what kind of obstacles have you come across? Like, has there been difficulties with promoters, matchmakers, things like that? Tell us about your experience with it.
Yeah, you know, I got pretty lucky. You know, I told you about like the rise of boxing scene in Louisville. It was recent. So one of the promoters, this promoter that was supposed to put me on, he was making a comeback of putting back Louisville, Kentucky, you know, boxing shows, pro boxing shows, and he actually promoted, I think it was back in the 80s, my coach's first pro boxing fight.
Oh, cool, some legacy.
So yeah, and there was also a lot of good connection, and I remember my coach telling me like, hey, I think this is a good time to turn pro. You know, you're good enough. And we got this promoter that he's going to start setting up fights here, and this is your chance to kind of like, you know, make it or break it, right? Yeah. So pretty much it started up from there, and you know, like I said, I got lucky with good promoters on our side of just promoting me. You know, even though sometimes I had to sell most of my tickets, I sold a lot of tickets.
That's good though.
But, yeah, it's a little. I didn't know it was like that, like this, but you know. I guess in our side of the town, in my neck of the woods, so they say, the fighters were kind of responsible of paying off the B side instead of the promotion taking over and paying both sides. So there was a lot of burden on us to you know, raise money and sell tickets and maybe at the end of the day, you know, if I'm lucky, I'll get out with like $200. But
interesting.
Yeah, but I'm hearing that in Canada, you know, everybody gets a fair share, and yeah.
I think it depends on the promoter and what organization, but I think the goal is that, you know, you're the promotion. Well, the goal should be that you're the promotion fighters want to work with.
Right.
You know, and that we honor the hard work, and you guys risk your lives to go in there. So, you know, that should be how it is. But I do think it varies place to place, promoter to promoter. And I think that's part of that, out with the old, in with the new, where hopefully this new era of boxing is a little bit more transparent and a little bit more passionate about supporting and bringing up, you know, both sides and young fighters as well too. You know, it is difficult to promote someone that nobody knows like out the gate. So there is a teasing period that a fighter and a promoter must have, and that must be a relationship that's longer. You have to have your eyes on a longer term goal
for sure.
to build a fighter. What advice would you give to, you know, a little boy who like just bought some boxing gloves with his friend and is thinking, wow, I really like this. Looking back at your experience, you know, what advice would you give to that?
Yeah, just watch a lot of boxing on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, watching is
YouTube.
like that,
I'm telling you, we didn't have that when we were growing up. Like, you know.
Well, how old are you? You look like you're maybe like 25.
I like him. I like him. Yeah. Woo! Add 10 to that minimum, but I'll take it.
No, but yeah,
But
for
it's crazy
sure.
what you
We're
can, what
lucky.
people are learning.
Yeah,
on
it's just kids and social media. Everyone's busy scrolling, but you know, if they're scrolling and watching videos and fighters, you know, and I can see, you can always tell a fighter if they've been watching boxing versus if they haven't been watching boxing.
Interesting.
Just the way how they move and the stuff that they, you know, do in the gym. And I would just say watch a lot of boxing, and you know, if you're in Vancouver, Canada, go see Coach Choi Ken at DCS.
Wicked. Awesome. Well, it was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
I wish
Thank
you
you
the
for
best of
having
luck
me.
in your stay in Vancouver.
Thank
and
you.
you're good, you know, like a good experience. And you can take that home with you
Yeah,
and
for
implement
sure.
some of that culture you were talking about, because Vancouver will welcome you back anytime.
Thank you guys. Last shout out.
Yeah.
My sister, you know, she's having a baby.
Shout out,
Yeah,
sister.
I'm gonna be a dad.
Wait, what?
Sorry.
This was what he was waiting for.
Sorry, I laughed too fast. That was.
He was just amped.
He said he had,
Yeah.
he said he had a joke in the car. I'm not telling him. I'm not telling him.
He comes real quick.
Oh man! Wait, what? What are we talking about?
It's been another episode of the Empire Boxing Podcast, Family Counseling Edition. I'm your host, Coach Jay. Thanks so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time.
Make sure to listen, follow, and subscribe to Empire Boxing on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube.